Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Sorry for going a little quiet on you all. My weekend consisted of watching the World Cup final here in Croatia, and as you can probably imagine, the atmosphere was electric to say the least. But as my trip comes to an end, I took a few minutes to speak with the CEO of Pypestream, Richard Smullen. And we chat about the major shift that's currently taking place in the use of AI and data, and how this shift is going to bring brands and customers closer together. Major brands of Fortune 50 companies have already extended Pypestream's Pype to their outbound messaging system too, to ensure that email is actually used less and less in marketing. And try to imagine an immediate future where customers have such a deeply personal relationship with businesses and brands that they can interact anytime, anywhere, around any topic, on any device inside their messaging interface. For example, if it's your birthday, the same system that lets you resolve a billing issue sends you a coupon and a happy birthday message in the morning. So if you believe that we really are in the fourth industrial revolution, one characterised by robotics and AI, do you think that a complete on-demand transformation is the ultimate in customer and employee experience? Buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to New York so we can speak with the CEO of Pypestream, Richard Smullen, who's going to answer all these questions and many more. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Neil. My name is Richard Smullen, and I am the founder and CEO of Pypestream, which is a New York-based company that has developed a messaging infrastructure for business-to-consumer interactions that is powered by some very advanced artificial intelligence systems. And the idea is that this business helps any legacy business or any of the incumbents transform into on-demand businesses. So you can experience those businesses like you do Uber or Netflix and really have that immediacy with the business. I started the business about 3 years ago, and as I said, we're based in New York, 50-odd people, and are starting to dominate this very interesting market, this economy around AI and moving away from email and from call centers to messaging, like we do with our friends on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, but this is to businesses instead.
I'm glad you mentioned Pypestream there, but before we actually get to that, I think you've got an incredibly interesting backstory too. I mean, can you tell me more about your passion for early stage startups and how that saw you launch successful businesses since your days at, I think it was university in South Africa, and have numerous patents and successful companies under your belt along the way?
Glad you did some homework. As I said, I maybe didn't say it, but I'm South African, and I moved to the US about 9.5 years ago. And from my college days, actually prior to my college days, had always been looking to start a business, to create some, eventually tremendously valuable business or something that would have an impact on the world. As a son of a nuclear physicist and a very admirable industrialist in South Africa, being my dad, I'd always had in me the desire to be in business. I was exposed to business at a very young age and just was really excited about being allowed to or being in a position to start something and develop that. So I remember when I was about 12 or 13, I'd asked my father at his steel factory if I could get the guys to cut me steel discs, which would be like dog tag necklaces, and I started selling those at school. And the 5 or 10 quid I made a month made me feel very, very powerful and very financially independent. And I said, well, this is how I want to feel for the rest of my life. And that was it. So I enjoy seeing how technology can solve problems. I think technology can solve and is starting to prove that it can really, really transform anything. And I've always looked for opportunities where I believe something is broken or something could be improved, and started a couple of businesses in South Africa. I appreciate you saying, that some were successful, but actually some failed terribly. But I believe those were necessary to kind of position me for what we're doing here, and the lessons learned there were to enable this opportunity, which I think by far is the biggest I've ever been involved with and had the pleasure of doing in my career. So it's just a thing in the DNA, the entrepreneurial spirit. And as a technologist, I did some information systems architecture at college and development or engineering at in spare time, and from that was able to create architecture for the systems and have a logical process applied to the thinking and how technology could do what it does, and from those ideas check to see if there's a market for it, and if there was, I'd launch a business behind it and hopefully turn it into something. And it's been my formula pretty much from the start.
And you really have done just that. But like a friend much wiser than me once said, he doesn't fail, you learn. And that's so true, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question that success comes from knowing what to do either better than the previous time or different from the previous time. And you're able to work much faster when you know what to do, because you did it wrong previously, or you did it, but now you can do it better. So it's a continuous improvement. It's unbelievable that, when I went through the failures, I went through the tough times in the previous businesses, it was very difficult to understand why this was happening, and you're so deeply immersed in that moment of the stress and the anguish. But when I look back on it all now, there's absolutely no way I would be sitting here or even having a conversation with you if I didn't go through all of that. And if I knew that was the reason for the anguish back then, it would have made it a lot easier. But it's certainly been all necessary.
Now, Pypestream is a company that, like you said, enables AI-backed conversations and secure data transactions between businesses and the people that they serve. So can you set the scene and help listeners understand exactly what Pypestream is, what problems it solves, and also what makes it unique from all the other solutions out there?
Well, 2.5 or actually 3 years ago, time is flying, when I started the business, it was basically started because I was using my phone and phoning businesses, whether it was an airline or an insurance company or a hotel company, and needing to stay on hold and having these interactions with the businesses that I felt were not at the cadence of or the way I wanted to interact with businesses. Yet when I was talking to friends or communicating with friends and family, I was using a messaging app. So I was using WhatsApp, I was using text messaging, and it was very efficient because I'd come back to my phone whenever I had time and see if there was a response and respond back. And I'll just have this ongoing, continuous conversation with whoever I was interacting with. Yet with the business, it was not like that at all. I'd have to be on hold. If the call disconnected, I'd have to start again. And there was no continuous ongoing relationship between me and any business. And while there was a few little chat pop-up windows on websites, there was nothing that made me feel like I was in a direct, always-on communication channel with the business, and I could have anything solved and resolved. And I thought that was the opportunity. And at the similar time, the on-demand economy became a formal economy that's as you know, Neil, has become a very rapidly growing economy where there's over $1 trillion of enterprise value between the Ubers of the world, the Netflixes of the world, Amazon Prime, which are really all built around immediacy, built around this direct connection with the consumer and the ability for the consumer to do anything and everything on their phone and whenever they want to. So I wanted to bring that technology or that solution to businesses that weren't founded in the last 10 years or 15 years, legacy businesses that, as I said, or incumbents that have built their businesses around call centers, around email systems, around, let's call them middlemen. So if I want to get something resolved with a business, I either speak to a person in a call center or I email a system, and hopefully that gets to somebody. Yet with Uber and Netflix, I've never phoned those companies, yet I operate or have them supply me something almost every day. And a company enabled with that solution would be, at least I thought, a very powerful proposition for them. So we created a messaging system. It looks like WhatsApp, it feels like WhatsApp, but it's only for business to consumers. That messaging system plugs into consumers' phones inside the business's app or inside a website. And on the other side of the messaging system, we plug it straight into the business's back-end systems. And we spin those back-end systems up with a whole AI layer that can access different systems at the back end, whether it's a payment system or a CRM system or a troubleshooting system. And the AI system's intelligent enough to know what the consumer is looking to do, what the consumer is looking for. Maybe they want to purchase, maybe they want to browse products, maybe they want to get their cable system upgraded or a new device installed. And the system's smart enough to and just give the consumers what we believe they want, which is always on demand and on their terms.
I love the angle that you've taken with this. And I also know that every man has a trigger word or a phrase that will send off those Kill Bill sirens off in his head. And after doing a little research online, would I be right in saying that chatbot is your trigger word? And if it is, can you just bring listeners up to speed with your frustrations around that chatbot hype at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually authored an article which has got quite a lot of attention, that I wish chatbots were dead. And the reason I have an aversion to that word is because I find it somewhat demeaning and it limits what the technology really can do and how powerful this AI and this transformation opportunity is. A chatbot is really just abbreviation for a robot that can chat, and on demand, always on communication between a consumer and a business is a lot more than chatting. And if you implement it properly and you use this as a much broader solution than just to send someone a coupon or tell them where the nearest store is, which is what most chatbots do, you could really, really change the cost basis and the satisfaction level for your customers, because they can make payments through it. They can inquire about new products and purchase it. They can interact with their home systems. You could theoretically record a pay-per-view show or some TV through the messaging system. And when you think of a chatbot, you immediately think of a robot that can chat. And the mere fact that in the last 12 months, there have been hundreds of chatbot companies that have emerged and spun up all over the place, whereas 18 months ago, there were probably 5% of them. It just shows you that there's not a lot that's required in order to be a chatbot vendor. And Pypestream is a messaging infrastructure system that does back-end automation to create what we call robotic engagement automation, which is this idea that you automate the engagement with any consumer or any employee through robotics. And when you hear that and then you hear chatbot, you realize that one is say a Rolls Royce and the other one is a Toyota. And the chatbot is just saying or calling the Rolls Royce a car and the Toyota a car. You can't do that. So Pypestream to be in the bucket that we're in, and all the little chatbot guys can, play out there. But we're fine with the term just not applied to what Pypestream does and how Pypestream works.
Now, major brands of Fortune 50 companies have extended Pypestream's Pype to be an outbound messaging system too, so that email is used less and less in marketing. So can you share a few use cases that provide that comparison between the old way of doing things and what you're doing now?
Absolutely. Let's give you a couple that would make sense. So we're very strong in the insurance space. There is a process in the insurance world called FNOL, which stands for the first notice of loss. What that means is when a customer who's insured loses something, whether it's through a burglary in their house or a car accident, they have to notify the insurance company that there's been a loss. And then that will trigger a claims process. That FNOL system has always been very manual. So how it would work, how it currently works with the incumbents are you, God forbid, get into a car accident and you want to claim insurance to have that fixed. So what you would do is you would phone the insurance company and you'd say, I've been in a car accident. The insurance company will ask you to identify yourself and verify your identity somehow, maybe with a password or PIN. And once you've done that, they'll then ask you for details. And once you've done that, they'll send it to an assessment person and they'll probably call you back. So you'll be waiting. Once the assessment person calls you, then they'll talk about what happened and you'll give details, and then they'll probably connect you to somebody who will offer to send you a tow truck or get you a car rental. And then once that's done, an adjuster or a representative who will handle the claim will then be brought into the conversation. And by the time you've finished going through all of this, it could be a couple of hours, and in some cases it's been a couple of days. So with Pypestream, what we've done is we've created an FNOL automation robot. So what happens is we plug it into the back-end systems that the insurance companies who were using the previous system I just described. And when you're in an accident, you immediately go to the website, you click on been in an accident, and the Pypestream conversational interface pops up and it says, hi there, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, you've been in an accident. Can you please confirm your identity? You type in your name and surname. It says, wonderful, what is your password? You type it in. It says, okay, can you tell me what happened? And you write a little bit there, and the natural language understanding, which is built into the AI system, picks up that you crashed a tree. It may ask if are you injured? Do you need an ambulance? And it runs you through this whole process. It asks you to take a picture and you send it there. And before you know it, the entire interaction all the way through to the account manager who's assigned to you is done with robots. There was no interactions with humans along the way. Everything was done then and there. If you needed to stop for whatever reason because you to speak to a cop or someone came to see what was going on, you just go back, open up your phone and continue the conversation and get it all done. So that's an example of a use case in insurance that is probably going to result in probably hundreds of millions of dollars worth of saving for insurance companies worldwide who are implementing this from Pypestream, because the number of people and the systems involved in needing to do this manually is very, very costly. And with Pypestream, all of that is going to get stripped out. So that's one example. We have a large CPG client who had an app for one of their products, and in the app was FAQs and just other types of support and information for and about the product. And what's happened now is in that app, they've switched off the FAQs and they've switched off the support pages. And when you're there, it says, would you like to know anything more about us? You say yes. It will say, enjoy our on-demand experience. And it comes up and says, hi there, I can't refer to the brand just yet, but it's top 3 diapers brand in the world. And you can now interact, ask questions if there's an issue. And the next phase of that is they're going to switch off their email promotion system and they're going to implement the loyalty system through Pypestream. So now when you've bought the product, you'll take a picture of the barcode, send it through the messaging system. It will give you points. And when you're in a store, it will help you redeem the points because the GPS will pick up you're in a store location, and everything's done with this very direct connection to the brand.
Wow, that's amazing. Could you also tell me about the major shift taking place in the use of AI and data, and how you think that shift will actually bring brands and customers closer together? Absolutely.
The way I look at it is AI is an essential component if you're going to remove what I described earlier as the quote-unquote middleman from the relationship between a business and a brand. There's maybe a call center with Netflix, maybe a call center with Uber, but you don't think of your relationship with Uber or Netflix. as needing to phone and deal with a person, somewhere handling the interaction. You think of yourself directly connected to that business as you open your phone. Well, the reality is that the whole Uber and Netflix system with recommendations, knowing that something's wrong, knowing that, you're in this location and you go to that location, that is all AI. And that is essential in creating that. So we believe that the AI component is what bridges the gap between the back ends of the businesses and the consumer. And why messaging is so imperative is because if you've got a secure messaging channel, then you allow the business and the customer to have an always-on connection. The data side of it is essential because the AI is only as smart as the data you feed it. So as an example, if the AI system knows that I am continuously watching documentaries on business, as an example, then when I log on to Netflix, the AI system that's going to do recommendation is not going to recommend cartoons or something that's not relevant to me. It's going to recommend, based on what it knows about me, which is data, what it thinks I should be watching. And data is key because each business is unique and each business has its own specific USPs or unique selling points, and that mixed with the data that they're extracting from consumers and from different interactions helps the AI get smarter and smarter.
Many believe that we're currently in the fourth industrial revolution. So can you tell me more about why you think that a complete on-demand transformation is the ultimate in customer and employee experience?
Yeah, for sure. It's because you don't need the same human resources that you needed prior to this AI and digital, revolution that's going on. And that is totally transformative for customer service because you as a consumer can feel connected to and have an ongoing conversation with a business wherever you are in the world, really whenever you want to. And that is something that is brand new concept. And when you think of revolutions, whether it was the wheel, whether it was the production line, it was machinery, it was technology that came in to do the job of tens of or hundreds of people in the various cases. And here you have machines or technology being robotics and AI now taking the place of a lot of human involvement, and in customer service really replacing that call center agent and replacing the person who's on the phone trying to help you troubleshoot, because AI is getting smart enough to be able to do that. And when you think about interacting with an airline or with your insurance company in the future and you realize it's going to feel just like you're interacting with Uber, swiping and gestures and carousels, then you realize that this is a seismic shift. And it's something we're obviously very excited about.
So if I was to ask you to look into that crystal ball, how do you see the future of customer service? And what does that mean for the future of work too, in your opinion?
I believe that the winners, those that are going to be around in 5 years from now, will all be mobile-based businesses, and they will all be giving you that. And I keep referring Uber just because I think they were the pioneers and have just been the most dominant, phenomenal deliverer of this on-demand experience. I believe all companies will feel and look like that. So if it's an airline and you want to pick seats and you want to sort something out, you want to get your boarding pass, you're going to be able to do it conversationally and with swiping. Some of the airline apps are really good and they're giving you a little bit of an on-demand experience. But in the true on-demand world, in 5 or 6 years, I don't think apps are going to exist anymore. I think everything's going to be done in a central location, in a central repository of businesses. So you'll have WhatsApp where you've got all your friends and you do all your friends and family stuff. And then you'll have this separate, let's call it a commerce hub, that you'll have all the businesses you want to interact with. We hope it's going to be at the Pypestream commerce hub because we have one and we'll be pushing it really hard in about 2 years from now. But that's what my crystal ball tells me. And how it relates to employees is that employees, especially at large companies, shouldn't have to navigate multiple systems and figure out how to apply for leave here and check their payment their pay slips there and look at the employee handbook here, they should have a single interface that they can talk to or talk through, that in the background is going to extract whatever it is they need from the myriad systems that the corporation is using to give the employee a sense of on-demand and much more simplicity. And that's also what Pypestream does. So it's all about just making life more simple and making the business, whether it's selling you a service or employing you, feel like it's a friend and feel like it's always there for you.
So as for yourself, I mean, what's your grand vision for Pypestream and how do you see that evolving over the next few years?
My grand vision for Pypestream is still to be defined. However, what I would love to see is rapid adoption of Pypestream's technology by all the businesses that aren't on demand or digital first businesses. So all the airlines would love to see them using Pypestream, the insurance companies, government. You think of interacting with the tax authorities or immigration, and you can do that all through a conversation that's always on and always accurate and friendly and empathetic. You realize the implications, or rather the ramifications of getting this right. So obviously, that's the mission for the business. Hopefully, we'll be the dominant player and we'll be one of the large enterprise software guys that emerged in the last 5 years. If you think about all the major enterprise players, the SAPs, the Oracles, the Microsofts and the Googles, even you can put in that category, the IBMs of the world, they've all been around for a very long time, some of them, 20 plus years. And when you think of large enterprise software solution companies that have emerged in the last 5 years, you'll struggle to find one with a market cap or as much value as those few that I mentioned prior. Yet in the consumer space, in the last 5 years, whether it's Uber or some of these other businesses, there are, a number of them that are at those crazy valuations of some of their incumbents or their competitors who actually probably don't exist anymore because the on-demand economy took them out. So hopefully we'll be one of those companies, and we've got an exceptional team here, and everyone's really passionate about the mission. Everyone is focused on it. We've got folks from IBM that joined us. We've got folks from Intel, just some of the biggest companies who wanted to be a part of this vision. And it's just a fantastic culture and a lot of excitement for what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Well, a huge thank you for coming on and taking the time to speak with me today. But before I do let you go, could I just ask that you remind the listeners of where they can find Pypestream online, and also contact a member of your team if they have any questions or just want to carry on the conversation we started today?
Absolutely. Pypestream, it's pypestream.com. And there's LinkedIn, we have Facebook. And if anyone wants to get in touch with us, sales or info@pypestream.com all work. Someone wants to get in touch with me personally, then just send a message there and the team will forward it to me. And just thank you very much, Neil. This was a real treat, and I hope your listeners get some value from it.
Fantastic. Well, I do love your backstory there, that passion for early stage startups since your days at university in South Africa, and how that's moulded and shaped you. And yes, you've had a lot of successes, but you've also had a few failures, and that has given you the lessons and give you that stage to go on and do great things now with Pypestream, and that's exactly what you're doing. I think it's very inspirational for a lot of people that will be listening to us talk now at various stages of their startup journey as well. So a big thank you for taking the time to share that story with me today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Appreciate you extracting that from it, because I think that's at the end of the day what it's been all about for me.
Pypestream's technology combines messaging, AI and back-end integrations into existing systems so that all customers' needs are presented to them on their mobile phone inside Pypestream's proprietary Pype technology. And examples of what Pypestream's clients are doing in a fully automated way are payments, orders, first notice of loss, filing claims, checking accounts, troubleshooting, FAQs, and even redeeming of loyalty points. So a big thank you to Richard Smullen for taking the time to explain how they are using technology to help major brands of Fortune 50 companies create that ultimate in customer and employee experiences. But as always, what are your thoughts? What are the positives and the negatives about everything you've heard in today's episode? Feel free to message me at techblogwriter@outlook.com or tweet me at Neil C. Hughes. But that's it for today's episode and also my final day here in Croatia. So thanks for listening, gang. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.